Okay, next let's go over the UC Transfer Admission Guarantee Program, or TAGS. So on the Transfer Center website, and I know a lot of you found this in week 1 when you explored the website, but from the home page you'll go to Special Programs and then down to TAG. And SRJC does a lot more than other campuses, in my opinion. So the Transfer Admission Guarantee Program is available to one of these 6 UCs. So you can do a tag to one campus and that's it, okay? If you submit your tag early and it's denied, you can pull it back and do it to somebody else. But a lot of the schools don't give you an answer that quickly. So you really want to make sure that you do your research, you know that you qualify for that campus because each campus varies a little bit. And so you want to talk with a counselor, go to a TAG website to make sure, okay? So this first link is just the TAG steps. And you can take a look and see, okay, what do I need to do? Review the TAG requirements, attend a TAG workshop in September, complete your TAG application online by September 30th. And then you still have to apply to a UC. So the TAG is not your admissions application. It's a separate application for a special program, okay? So think of it in that way. The TAG application is from September 1st to September 30th, and then you apply to the UC between October 1st and this year, December 1st or 2nd, I can't remember. And then here's the workshop schedule. So you can see when all the TAG application workshops are taking place from September 1st through the 30th. Try to go to one early on would be my recommendation, so that you can make sure that you understand what you're doing. The way the TAG application workshops function is from 10:30 to 11. The first half hour is a counselor going over information about the TAG process. Then from 11 to 12, the last hour, is just you working on the tag. So you may not need to be there for the entire hour, but it's a way for you to get your questions answered. So if you go to this on the 9th and then you go back on the 16th, just go back from 4 to 5 unless you need to refresh yourself on the information, which I don't think you would need to. All right, so the UC Transfer Admission Planner is what you use, a TAP, to fill out your application, okay? So when you have a TAP account, when you go to apply and you get to the academic history section, it will ask you, do you have a TAP account? Yes, I do. Log in. And then it brings over all your academic history into the UC application. So it will save you time in the UC application as well. The TAG matrix shows you what the requirements are for the different schools. Okay, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger here for us. There we go. So you are tagging in September of 25 for the fall 26 school year, okay? So you have to have at least 30 UC semester units done by the end of summer, okay? So if you don't have that, then you don't qualify. And you can count AP or IB units in that total. You have to have at least 1 UC English and 1 UC Math done by the end of fall. You have to complete the remaining 7 course pattern by the end of spring, which we talked about on the intro video for this week. You have to have your 60 units done by the end of spring of 2026. You have to complete at least 30 semester units at a California community college by the end of spring. So that's what makes you part of this program, because the program is only for California community college students who meet a higher level of criteria, okay? So not every student is going to qualify to tag, and that's what makes it, you know, special and a little bit competitive in that way, okay? And the last school you attend must be a California community college. So remember that rule as well, okay? No more than 19 UC transferable units in spring of 2026. So if you're at 20, you don't qualify to tag. And you must not exceed 80 semester UC transferable units after applying lower division limits. This is very specific to certain students, those who have attended a university and have upper division credits. So it's not for a student that has only attended a California community college, okay? You have to have a 2.0 GPA in all transferable coursework in the current fall, winter, and spring terms with no grade lower than a C. So if you get a D, your tag is void. You have to submit your tag application by the September 30th deadline. You still have to apply October 1st through December 1st. And when you do apply, you have to apply to the same tag major at the tag campus that you applied for. So one year I had a student who was a psych major. She applied as general psych on her tag, but then when she applied to with her regular UC application, I think she did biopsych or something. So her tag was denied because she applied to 2 separate majors. So be careful of that. You have to complete the transfer academic update by January 31st. So what that is when you apply, maybe your class schedule isn't finalized. And so you go and do the TAU in January to let them know, hey, I'm taking history 17.2 instead of history 17.1. And you also update them on what your grades were for fall. And then you must meet all campus-specific tag criteria that we'll go over, okay, for the specific campus. Did I say that? Students who are not eligible to tag are those who've already earned a bachelor's degree. Students previously enrolled at a UC campus cannot do a tag to return to the same campus. And then students previously enrolled at a UC campus who were not in good standing when they left that UC, and students concurrently enrolled in high school can't do a tag. So this chart is nice because it shows you by campus what their rules are, okay? So there's questions going across here, and it tells you, what you need to do. So what are the excluded majors? So for UC Davis, undeclared, computer science, data science, landscape architecture, but at Irvine, art, business, dance, music, natural science, and all majors in the Bren School of Information and Computer Science. So you want to look and make sure that your major is open for a tag, okay? And if not, you would go through general admissions. Then down here it shows you the minimum UC transferable GPA that you need. So at Davis, for the College of Ag, Bio, Letters and Sciences, you need a 3.2, but for College of Engineering, you need a 3.5 by the end of summer. Santa Barbara, you can reach that GPA by the end of fall. So you can use your fall grades to get the 3.4, okay? So this is just a really good sheet to utilize to see where you're at. Now, the way that SRJC takes tags a little bit further is we list each one of the campuses. So here's Davis. We're giving you very specific information of what you need to know about Davis, okay? Davis has selective majors. And so for these selective majors, you have to have specific things done. So if you're a bio major, you need that overall GPA of a 3.2. But for the following courses, you need a 2.5 in each of the 3 series. So Calc, Chem, and Bio. You need to figure out your GPA and make sure it's a 2.5, okay? If we go back, this thing is in my way. Let me see if I can move this a little bit. Sorry. If we go back again and we look at Santa Barbara, they're not as picky, okay? So at Santa Barbara, they have 4 majors that are selective in the College of Letters and Sciences. Other than that, there's no specific course requirements that have to be done for their other majors. You just have to have that 3.4 GPA and all the other things I stated at the beginning in the matrix. Okay, so if we look at their biological sciences, you need to have a 3.4 overall and a 2.7 or better for these courses listed. Okay, so chem, organic chem, bio, and calc. All right, so definitely take advantage of the tag if it makes sense for you, if you qualify, okay? And go and look at the different GPAs. So maybe you don't have a 3.4, so then Santa Barbara's out right away, okay? Actually, I have this up right here. But for Santa Cruz, you need a 3.0. For Riverside College of Humanities, you need a 2.8, okay? So see which campus you qualify for and then go from there. So when you tag, you don't have to go to that school. So if you tag to, let's say, Santa Cruz, but you apply to Berkeley, San Diego, and LA, the 3 campuses that don't participate, and you get into San Diego, you can say, no thanks, Santa Cruz, I'm going to San Diego, and that's totally fine. However, if you meet the requirements of the tag, then they have to grant you the spot, okay? So I highly recommend that you go to a tag workshop. They will cover more details. They will help you with the application itself. But if you don't have a UC TAP account, that is something you definitely want to get started on. All right, let's move on to the next topic.